Bros will be like, people who pay attention to celebrity gossip are stupid. And then they'll make cunty 40-minute videos discussing Conor McGregor being jealous of Sean O'Malley and argue over men's weights.
We're bros.
It's us. Hello, and welcome to the Sports Bimbo podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Stella K.
And I'm Nia Chai.
So Nia has actually been in a coma for like over 2 weeks. She fully fell off the face of the earth. I had no idea where she was, and she is completely behind on all fight news, all fight gossip. So we're going to use this episode to catch her up. And the most important thing that I think she needed to know, and imagine you just come out of a coma, what's the most important thing that you need to hear about? I think you need to hear about the Conor McGregor tweet to Ryan Garcia and Sean O'Malley. Pull it up.
Wait, I actually don't know any of this. I'm excited. Okay, so not only was I in my little coma, but I also don't have any social media right now. So I know nothing. I know nothing unless I was to go and try to like Google different fighters' names and see what would pop up. I know nothing. I don't have Instagram. I don't have Twitter. So I have no way to understand what is going on in the world right now. Everything that you tell me is going to be my first time hearing it. I'm excited, but I'm sad that I missed all of it.
Yeah, she's not seeing the memes. She's not seeing any of the things. Also, for any of our few little fans out there that we've acquired in this past month, if you think that Nia does not promote the podcast or does not give a fuck about the podcast, she's locked out of her Instagram. So that's why she's just like a ghost. She's living in the 1900s. Like, she doesn't know what's going on.
I bought milkmaid dresses just to prepare me for the future going forward.
The last time you and I were together, we had seen the Ryan Garcia fight. We knew all that was going on. We had an episode come out about Ryan Garcia conspiracy theories. And then shortly after that, I think you still might have had some consciousness, possibly, that when you heard that Ryan Garcia popped one of his tests for Ostarine, which is ironic because one of our very last episodes was me telling you about how I had did Ostarine before.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Wait, okay, so what is it, first of all? Because I don't actually know the names or anything.
I feel like the universe kind of handed that to us because, like, what are the chances? Like, why did he do the same performance-enhancing drug that I did that we decided to make an episode about? So Ostarine was the one that I told you that it wasn't the Cardarine was the first one, expands the lungs. It wasn't that one. It was the one I did after that is supposed to build muscle mass quicker. So that probably attributed to the 3 pounds that we thought were water weight, you know? So yeah, he had done that. I mean, there's a whole set of conspiracy theories of if that's true. He claims that it's a conspiracy to take his win away, that it's not true. He claims that he has only ever done ashwagandha. Do you know what that is?
That's not like performance enhancing though. So
yeah. I mean, I was skeptical of that. Like, how would you pop for Ostarine for taking ashwagandha? But I did watch a video last night from like a steroid man bodybuilder that I actually have watched a lot of his videos and I trust him. And he does claim that if it is manufactured in the same plant, there is a possibility that the microbiome something or other, he claims it's a possibility. And I do trust this guy. His name's Russo, I think. But anyway, so he pops the test. Everyone's saying, take his win away. Ryan Garcia did Ostarine. He's doing performance-enhancing drugs. The number one person who really took offense to Ryan Garcia doing Ostarine was Conor McGregor.
Oh, God, really? He loves to pretend that he hates steroids.
He was besides himself, fired up, doing a lot of posting about it. So I'm going to read you this very long tweet. That's how long it is.
What? Conor McGregor was tweeting this at Ryan Garcia?
It's unhinged. It's completely unhinged. Cheated the weight and was juiced. Lifetime ban. Sad to see, sad to say. Sad and a bit sick. Don't come near me if I ever see you, Ryan Garcia. I am actually disgusted. The Ostarine, it reminds me of Sean O'Malley. He was on that as well. I don't like this. I'll bust both of yous up. Do yous want to spar? I will set flights right now for you both for a full-on spar each. Hotel Black Forge Inn, the lot. Hashtag Let's Spar O'Malley and hashtag Garcia. 2 little Ostarine heads. I'll ride you both like yous are ostriches. What the fuck is up? What do you think you are at? If I was Haney's dad, you're dead. No matter what for doing that. Crazy. What the fuck happened to you, you little fool? I can hear that on in his voice. Get your head together, because I'm going to smash it in with me elbows if you don't.
With me
Fair play, Devin. Well done. Your performance has just become even more heroic. Bravo. Hand clapping emojis. Get your head together, Ryan Garcia, or kill yourself.
Conor McGregor said, get your head together or kill yourself? Kill yourself? Okay. My number one issue with that was not even the long rant about how they need to kill themselves. It's that he said Devin Haney's performance was heroic. Can we start with that?
Heroic?
What do you mean heroic? He didn't do anything. He actually didn't do anything.
He had little pillow hands.
He did. He had pillow hands, and he just wanted to cuddle the entire time. So what about that is giving heroic? That's crazy. Why is he sucking Devin Haney's dick? That's weird, right?
I see it to an extent. Like, I do think that's fucked up if you were on performance-enhancing drugs and Devin Haney wasn't, and you came in and did all this crazy stuff and you won. I think Devin Haney did a okay fight, but I wouldn't call it heroic.
Yeah, that is a stretch of a word.
Was Conor drunk? Like, what was that?
Well, that is a rant for sure. That sounds like
on cocaine.
Rant. Yeah, that was a performance-enhanced tweet that he sent out.
So triggered.
Okay, so Ryan Garcia was on, what is it called again? Say it again.
Ostarine.
Ostarine?
Mm-hmm.
Am I saying that right?
Mm-hmm. Ostarine.
Okay, but is that not it? Okay, so that is performance-enhancing, or it's just kind of a recreational little drug? You said it was for muscle mass, right?
Yeah, I've researched it a bit by now between the Russo guy and me actually doing it. I do not believe that it is one that makes you stronger, and neither does the Russo guy. It does make you bigger, like bulk that.
Yeah.
Like,
so it's still a steroid then. At the end of the day, it's still a steroid.
It's a SARMs, which we talked about before in the last episode. It's like a steroid light. It acts a little differently because it doesn't have the same like hormonal suppression that steroids do. And what in this video I just watched, what the guy was talking about is, I didn't know this, so I had actually made a few public claims where I'm like, I don't think it's a big deal if these guys do Ostarine, even if before the fights, because it's at these low doses, it mostly affects you aesthetically. But this guy Russo was saying that for the men, if you take it in a stack with testosterone, it makes the testosterone bind even more than usual than if you took testosterone just on its own. So you would have the effects of the testosterone more quickly, more intensely, more long lasting. So it is a cheat code. A little bit. So, for a man, if they are taking it with something else, then it could be performance enhancing in that way.
Okay, so in that case, fine, Conor McGregor, in your cocaine-induced rant, I guess it is, I would consider it to be performance enhancing. Then if there's a possibility of it, then why not try to clock it? I understand that too. If I lost a fight to somebody and I thought that it was totally unfair and that was because of whatever drugs or steroids that they were on, I would want to investigate too, and I would be on the defense as well. So I'll give them that. I understand that then. It just doesn't sound like he was on anything else, though, so it doesn't seem like that's the case.
No, I don't believe Ryan Garcia that it's a conspiracy to take away his win. I personally don't believe that. I don't know if I believe the Ashwagandha. It seems a little far-fetched. I think it's possible he was doing a low dose of this to affect him aesthetically, to look good, and had already cycled off of it, so that's why a trace amount of the... I don't know the exact science words they were using, but there's a trace amount that he popped for, and I think that's why. And then he's scheduled to do a B test, and he's like, you're going to see when I do the B test, it's not going to be there, it's not going to be there. I think because he had already cycled off of it, that's why. I don't think he meant to do it performance enhancing necessarily, but everybody's on shit. Like, let's be real.
Right, so did he take a second test then?
I haven't heard anything about it yet. Probably the way the fight news moves, every time we've made a podcast so far, by the time it comes out, everything has changed drastically. I'm like, oh my God, we need to do this by the day to keep up with it. But it is what it is. But I'm sure by the time this comes out, they'll have the B tests come out.
By the time the podcast comes out, everything is old news at that point because it goes so fast. I hope he does take a second test and rubs it in their face then. That's awful. And that does make sense if it's trace amounts. I mean, we could all just assume that he probably has cycled off of it, but I want to see that second test. He said he's willing to do it. He's not defensive against it. That's
I think he did it. But we just haven't heard the results. I'm not sure. But what I want to know is, like, I just don't understand Connor's anger. Like, Connor is clearly juiced. I would be quiet if it was something I do, but has Connor like not fought? Does he only fight naturally? Is he going to cycle off of everything by the time it's his fight? I'm just confused about that. Also, what about Sean O'Malley catching a stray in that?
Poor Sean O'Malley. I'm sorry you had to get caught in the crosswinds, honey.
Sean did pop for Austrian, but I think it was like 2 years ago. And it was the same thing, like a trace amount. Like Connor was pissed, but Sean O'Malley did respond and he was like, all right, I'm down. Fly me out there. So
he was probably so calm about that. He was like, sure, I'll fly out, you weirdo. You want to beat me up? Okay.
I think he was excited. He was like, yeah, let's do that.
I've always wanted to spar with Conor McGregor. Yeah. And yeah, Conor McGregor of all people, I understand that maybe he doesn't fight juiced, but that man is juiced. So I would just zip it. I don't care if you fight on it or not. You're not exempt from that either. What are you talking about? I hope he gets a little bit of karma and ends up getting like tests with trace amounts of stuff in it too. And he's like, well, I cycled off of it. And then we can all tweet at him to kill himself like he did to Ryan Garcia.
That was crazy. Kill yourself?
Kill yourself? What?
That's like jail time. You're not supposed to say that, Connor.
He wrote out that entire tweet and was like, this is not aggressive enough. I need to spit in his face a little bit more. So he's like asking his friends, what should I say? And they're like, oh, tell him to fucking kill himself. That'll be good.
It made me mad out of all the people, all the fighters in the world to really have something to say of everyone. Conor McGregor, like the guy we didn't see because he didn't want to do steroid testing, whatever. I loved it. It was, of course.
Obviously, I don't want Ryan to lose the win. He very much deserved that. He beat the shit out of Devin Haney. He deserved that. And he got a few knockdowns, too. There's no way it should be taken from him. He didn't even get a belt from it. Like, can we be for real for 2 seconds? What are you really taking from him? That's so stupid.
I need more information, honestly. Okay, now that you have that moment of clarity from post-coma clarity, like you needed to know about that. I was dying to tell you.
Post-coma clarity is hilarious. That's the name of the episode, post-coma clarity.
No one to talk about all this stuff with. So what the fuck happened? You disappeared fully off the face of the earth. At first I thought you were busy, and it was like a very busy time for me with the podcast launching and like a really exciting time. You were nowhere to be found. So I couldn't try to like wait it out. Like, okay, maybe she's busy. Then I got scared because I like watch a lot of true crime and stuff. So then I started like, I literally had like suspects, like I had friends like helping. I had 2 of my friends that we were like launching like FBI investigation. Like, what are the possibilities? Like, did an ex-boyfriend kill her?
I was dead. I actually fucking died.
It was
died.
I was very worried. And so as a worried friend, like they were like, should you call? Like, should you try to contact her family? And then I started to like wonder, maybe you just didn't want to do the podcast for some reason. So I didn't want to like interfere in your personal life. It was just something like that. And then I looked psycho, like contacting your mom or something. Like, have you heard from Mia? So I didn't do that, but I did lurk your mom, and she hadn't posted any like missing daughter poster. So I was like, okay. So then I thought it started to use me. Then I started to think maybe it was like, we have a weird little fan. I thought maybe the fan, like, weird person got to you somehow. And that was hard for me to imagine, but I was like, maybe it's a possibility. Like,
anything's a possibility. Yeah, I'm sorry I fell off the face of the earth. My mom also didn't know, but she was probably just like, she's out there having a good time in Vegas. I'm sure she's having fun.
Yeah, so I was really worried, but then the worry kind of stopped and turned into being about me. All my trauma kicked in because I had lurked you so extensively, and I did find a sign of life from you. And the sign of life that I found was you had like a little, and I knew for sure it was you, a little like incel troll Twitter where you had been alive enough to retweet and like Andrew Tate tweets. That's when I decided it was about me.
Yeah, that would be anytime because I didn't have any of my other social media, so I was just like, I have nothing else to do but to go on Twitter. And if you check the Twitter, it's like 0 followers, 0 following. It's just I have nothing.
No sign of you anywhere else. And so I even I had started Google searching like did TikTok influencer Nia die? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and that was how I somehow found the Twitter, by putting just whatever the keywords I used, like missing TikTok, Nia, whatever. I found this Twitter, and I knew for sure it was you just because I know you and the things it was posting. I was like, that is for sure her. And that was all. Yeah, it was a sign of life. It wasn't a ton, but it was literally to Andrew Tate of all things. I'm like, this bitch is alive and she hates me.
Oh, no, I could never hate you. You're the love of my life. That makes sense, though, because I have another stalker right now. That's another story I can't tell right now. But I have another stalker right now who started subtweeting me on Twitter as well and was like kind of going crazy and saying that they wish that me and my dog died. And I didn't know how they found my Twitter either, because that was not something that I had shared with anybody, and I was just using it to like entertain myself anytime that I was alive at all.
Yeah, and it's very one of those like a no face, like.
Right, there's no face, like nothing. Maybe I accidentally like connected my phone number or email or something to it, because the fact that you found it at the same time, which I'm hearing right now for the first time, means I did something for that to become visible to the people.
Wait, I can tell you what it is if you want to know, or
yeah,
or should I tell you later? I don't know. You commented on a tweet that posted your video, and you said, that's my TikTok.
Oh, okay. Well, then that makes sense. Wow, that is such a niche little thing. Then that's how they found it, and means they are a really good stalker as well. You did it because you wanted to see if I was fucking alive.
Yeah,
they did it because they wanted me and my dog to die.
Yeah,
so
well, that's scary. I'm sorry that you're going
two
through
different
that.
things.
Yeah, then I decided, okay, she just hates me, and I didn't know what I did. So I really went through a lot of emotional turmoil about that. And then,
Sally.
and I was like, I'm gonna have to break it to the network that it's just me now. And sorry,
Sports Bimbo, party of one, Stella K, reporting for duty. Rest in peace, Nia Chai. It was nice while it lasted.
Yeah, so it was. I was about to, like, I had a deadline. Like, if I don't hear from her by this day, I'm gonna tell the network that it's just me now, and like hope that we can still go on. And literally, that by the deadline, you were like, hey, I've been in the hospital.
Hey. Yeah, it was absolutely awful. So I was on Ozempic. So I went so I did Ozempic a year ago, pretty much today. It was like a year ago. And I had a great experience on it. It doesn't really do much for you other than just curb your appetite, for me anyways. So it was really wonderful to just work out on it and then be in a calorie deficit and not have those cravings. So that's what I had used it for at the time, was to curb my sugar cravings, because I have the biggest sweet tooth of all time. It's absolutely disgusting how much sugar I could eat on a day-to-day basis. And I hadn't been gaining any weight. I'd been maintaining weight. I just wanted to lose more. And I wanted the easy way out, okay? There's nothing wrong with wanting the easy way out sometimes, you guys. So you can bully me for that, but I'm an Ozempic skeleton now, so not quite. But I went to a new place, because when I was taking it originally, I was in Florida. So this was all new to me, the doctor's offices that are out in Vegas. And it was this lovely small Russian doctor who did not speak much English, maybe should have been a red flag at the time, but she had the best reviews of any other doctor in Vegas who administers semaglutide. That's what Ozempic is the semaglutide. And so I thought it was going to go wonderfully. I show up and everything goes well. I pay for it. She decides to do my first injection for me. The original amount in the Ozempic is like this tiny little amount. So here's a syringe, just this tiny little amount. But it was almost full. The entire thing was almost full. So I was thinking maybe it's diluted or something. I don't know, but that doesn't look like the same milligram dosage that I was on before. Didn't say anything, because at that point she had already taken my pants off and shoved it in my stomach. And then I get home and immediately I feel sick. Immediately, right after she had just stuck it in me. Pause. And I thought about it for 2 seconds and realized, okay, she did not give me the right dosage. I can already tell. I did not feel sick like this the first time I did. It's a normal side effect to feel really, really sick from Ozempic. So I was like, okay, maybe my body's changed a little bit, and these are the side effects that I'm going to currently deal with. That's totally fine. I'm okay with feeling nauseous. But it started getting so bad that I just could not even open my eyes without having to vomit. And the entire night, every 20 minutes, without exaggeration, I was throwing up. And then as soon as I would throw up, I would lay down, feel relief, sweet relief for 2 seconds, and then I would go back to being sick for the next 20 minutes. Like, if you vomited before, do you know like those few seconds right before you're about to throw up where your like heart beats really fast and like your mouth is just watering and it's just that like anxious feeling? I would feel that for the full 20 minutes. And I just have to be sitting up, basically having a panic attack until I vomit again. And then I would have just a few seconds of sweet relief from my shackles of Ozempic sickness. It got so bad that I was pulling all-nighters because my body physically would not let me go to sleep because it was more important to throw up, apparently. So I decided after the first day I was just going to give up immediately and go to the ER. Normally, I do not want to deal with doctors, and most of the time they'll just tell you things that you already know. But this was something that was very different to me, and I wasn't sure if I was going to fucking die. I couldn't eat, I couldn't drink water without throwing up. So I knew that if I wasn't going to get any water in me within the next day, that I was just going to pass out and fucking die. So when I got there, they told me that I was in a hypoglycemic state. I had hypoglycemia. It was really bad. It can be fatal in really severe situations. I don't think mine was that severe. I had eaten a few days before. But my blood sugar was really, really low, and my blood pressure was, I want to say, I can't remember, it was either really low or really high. So everything about me was out of whack, my blood pressure, my blood sugar. And you could feel it because my resting heart rate was 130 for an entire week. It never went down. So all they did was give me IVs and keep an eye on me, but I could not open my eyes. I couldn't stand up. I couldn't talk to anybody. I couldn't do anything.
Which, by the way, that is why we're doing this remote episode today. That's why Nia is not here in person. She barely just came to life, and I'm forcing her to do a podcast because I need to stay on schedule.
No, it was unfortunate timing for sure. Obviously, there would never have been good timing for it. I would never have wanted that to happen and felt that sick. But I also had to move Airbnbs in the meantime. And thank God I felt somewhat better the day that we moved. It was yesterday that we moved into a new one. We're doing like month-to-month Airbnbs because my personal life, long story short, I moved out of my other house and now we're just nomads. Not homeless, but nomads. It's a really, really nice place. But yeah, I wasn't feeling good until a couple of days ago. So it had been a few weeks since I had seen the light of day or had a human interaction. So I need this. I needed the human interaction. I was going fucking insane. And then my favorite hobby in the entire world I know nothing about. But I feel better now. And I'm also 12 pounds lighter. So you know what? It was worth it.
Oh, stop. Overdosing on Ozempic. When I heard what it was, like, of course I was so concerned, and I'm glad you're okay, and I'm sorry you went through that. But I was like, as soon as I got through that thought process, I was like, of course. Fuck it. This is the bimboest way that, like, you overdosed on Ozempic, like, of all the things. And our last episode, one of the clips, I don't know if you've even seen it because you've not been on Instagram, but one of our social clips from the last episode is us going, I'm straight edge. I just do Ozempic and steroids and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
I'm straight edge. I just do Botox and lip filler.
I was like making jokes about all this stuff, and then right after that, all this off-screen talk went viral, and then you died from Ozempic. Like, what are the chances?
It was really, truly awful. I would go as far to say it was probably the worst week of my life because of how painful all of it was. Like, my whole body was working to keep me alive. Every single one of my muscles was tensed. I was vomiting every 20 minutes, and because of that, I didn't sleep for days. I couldn't eat. I couldn't drink water. Like, just about as miserable as I could possibly be, on top of having a ton of body pain, is as miserable as I was. But I'm back now.
Well,
overdose on Ozempic is the sports bimbo thing to do. I'm actually
sports bimbo. Who does that?
Who does that? That is the most bimbo thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Overdosing on Ozempic.
So a couple of things you missed since our podcast launched. Tito Ortiz reposted our clip of me saying that he was my introduction to UFC. So that's cute. Yeah, and he commented and he reposted it. Yeah, that happened. I didn't realize I know so many people who know Ariel Helwani.
Oops, I know where this is going. The person who talked about Ariel Helwani.
Apparently we like upset some people about Ariel Helwani.
People who are friends with him, you're saying? Or maybe they knew a different side to the story?
There was people who were friends with him who were like, that I knew that were like, don't talk bad about my friend, which I'm like, you know what? He talked bad about my best friend with CM Punk. He had a whole episode with CM Punk where he talked bad about my best friend. Not necessarily talked bad, but like helped spread a little bit of like, in my opinion, misinformation. That's fine. Yes, we want to show that that's what you do, get the sound bites. I get all that. But he kind of went out of his way after that to make additional content showing you saw the Wembley security footage of Jack Perry and CM Punk. I showed it to you. So he went out of his way to make content with that footage, which he didn't have to do, whatever. So it doesn't matter. That's what he does. But I just think because of that, it's fair game, right? Like, I don't have to stop talking about him because he's friends with someone I know. He's talking about my friends. What do I care? It just is what it is.
Also, regardless of that, who cares? We can talk about whoever we want. We can say whatever we want. We're not in business meetings. This isn't like we all work in the same like corporate workplace and we have to worry about what HR is going to say if we talk bad.
Yeah, well, I mean, that comment I didn't bother. And it came from someone I really like. But I did think about it, and I'm like, I don't care. I've
thought about it, and I've decided I actually don't give a fuck. So I'm going to keep talking about it.
Out there. I did consider all this. And the thing is, I don't know Ariel Helwani. I'm not his friend. I've never had an interaction. I'm sure he's lovely. I've listened to a lot of his podcasts, actually. I'm subscribed. I'm a supporter. But, if something comes up to talk about him, I'll talk about him. And something that I don't feel bad about that is because he talked about my friend, too. So who cares?
You said Ariel Helwani's not my friend. Ariel Helwani was never my friend. Ariel Helwani needs to learn a thing or two about being a friend.
That doesn't mean I don't respect him or that I dislike him. But, if we're going to talk about something, we're going to talk about something. But then also I did hear that some people believe that he was within his right to leak the information that he leaked. This is a side I heard. And that Dana White tries to control the media and that Ariel Helwani is a journalist, like a real journalist. And that's their job, is to break the news. So I consider that as well. And if he takes himself really seriously as a journalist, that's fine. That's his bag. But me, I do come from wrestling background. And I guess there is a little bit of that, like, controlling. I wouldn't call it controlling the media. I'd call it protecting trade secrets and stuff like that goes on. So I'm used to that. So to me, that is not shocking if someone doesn't want someone to break their news.
Well, that's what we were discussing as well, and that's why we understood why he got banned from the UFC for a short while. And it's not like he lost his entire job. He was still a journalist. He was just banned from the UFC for a little while. And it wasn't that long, by the way. It wasn't like 10 years like we originally thought. But he was given insider information. He was given trade secrets. You would hope that he would have respected that relationship with the UFC and with Dana White and not leaked it. Now, of course, I understand as a journalist, you want that clout. You want to give out all the juicy information that you possibly can as soon as you hear it so that you can create a bigger fan base and you're known as having all these really cool secrets in the industry, but you're not going to be given those secrets anymore if you're going to be sharing them ahead of time.
But not even clout. I understand there's a whole, like, journalism has its own set of rules, and their job is not to, like, protect, like, businesses and corporations. Their job is to break news. So if that's how he feels strongly and he feels good about it, fine. But also it pissed people off. So it's like, it just depends how you want to navigate in this world. We were on this podcast. I'm sure people would criticize, like, we were kissing Dana's ass, essentially, saying, like, don't ban us, Dana. We love everything you're doing. And we were kind of joking, but we're also kind of serious. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I'll own that. I think that in this world, to get ahead, sometimes you got to finesse and have good relationships. And if I really wanted to be an ass kisser, I'd kiss Ariel Helwani's ass, but I'm not going to.
Sorry, Ariel. That ass is going unkissed.
But for now, the Dana ass is going a little kissed. It is what it is. I'm being real, I'm being real about
your ass, Dana White.
I do feel like we're pretty authentic in this podcast. Like, we do want to have good relationships with people, but I think at the end of the day, we're authentic. I said I don't like power slap. It is what it is. Dana just hasn't bothered me. I personally don't care if someone tries to control the media. I don't know. That's not weird to me. If I had a company, I would want to be in control of what leaks and when, or what's announced when. So I don't really care about that either. I think I stand by our stance. We might not have known every fact. We weren't there. We're not journalists. I don't know. We're just yapping. We have never claimed to be anything more than yappers.
But also, nobody's off limits. If we have an opinion, we're going to share it. I'm not going to say, oh, well, I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, or I don't want them to not come on the podcast, so I'm not going to say something about them that I really authentically feel. I'm just going to say it. And if they still want to be on the podcast or be besties with us, then so be it. But I don't think we said anything all that bad about Ariel Helwani.
No.
He's an aggressive journalist. I mean, watch his interviews.
A lot of people have said that. I'm just telling you the feedback that you missed that I didn't get to share with you. I guess old man Dan was pissed off. He's my friend, Dan Canobio. Shout out Dan Canobio. I told him he can come on the podcast and mansplain to us what the facts he thinks we got are wrong. But apparently Ariel is his mentor and he feels very strongly about that he was within his right and he's very protective of him. But he loves us also. And he said we're doing a great job on the podcast. So I would love to have him on.
Come on and mansplain things to us. I'm ready.
Yeah, he has a great boxing podcast where I learn a lot of math and a lot of facts. So I would love to hear some more facts, but we're not here honestly for all the facts. We're here for yapping, opinions, having fun, jokes, memes. We don't know it all. We said that. I'm fine with that. So
I'm here for the
sorry, Ariel. You can come on the podcast too. I don't care.
As if he's in our DMs right now. Please let me on the podcast.
No, I should be begging him. Let me out. Also, you and I are always going to be different. You've said this before many times. I am a bit more moderate. I do play things a little safe. You might not always do that. And honestly, who cares?
Yeah, who cares? What else did I miss?
Ryan Garcia is still insane, in my opinion.
Oh, is he? So that was what I was wondering, is if he was still going to be batshit crazy after the match.
He was trying to claim that it was all a troll and he did it all on purpose. And I'm like, okay, well, you're a genius. But then he's still pretty unhinged all the time. So I'm like, I think you're nuts.
I'm sure there's so much that you wouldn't even know where to start because his social media on a day-to-day basis before the match was crazy. So I can't even imagine.
He still has the rotating women. So that is still a thing.
Did he get married again?
No, but he tried to get back with his baby mama one day. He did do that. And then he just showed up, I think, at the Usyk Fury fight today with another girl who was not the baby mama. Did you hear his song? Were you alive when his song came out?
Yeah, I just heard that right now.
Bless. Highly favorite.
Bless. Highly favorite. Yeah, really, really a slapper. That should be on the top 100.
When I first heard it, I was like, I don't know, Ryan, but it's a little catchy. I used it on Sports Bimbo on a couple of posts as the audio, and I kind of got stuck in my head. I was like,
he's putting subliminal messaging in that song. He has satanic things in there.
I think that you were alive for the Canelo fight. I feel like I did hear from you maybe a little bit, but then never again.
That was one of the days where I was somewhat alive and then didn't end up watching any of it.
Okay, well, Canelo won. I didn't have to watch it to know that was going to happen. I knew he was going to win.
I figured.
He's my go, but then on the flip side of that, people also say that he cherry picks his opponents and that he picks opponents that he knows he's going to win no matter what. So no matter what you believe, I went into that fight saying, I know that this guy's going to win. I didn't think Jaime Munguia would win. He's not at Canelo's level. He's a great boxer, but I was really happy for him and proud of him and excited because he was training out of Freddie Roach's gym, Wildcard Boxing, which is where I box. So I felt like I'm involved somehow.
Yeah, you're like, oh, that has to do with me. That's me. I'm like, how can I make this about me right now?
Yeah, I'm like, I train there sometimes, so I'm basically in this corner right now. So, that was a very, I hope both teams have fun. And that was also the same time during UFC 301, which was that very heavy Brazilian card, which I was like, okay, Canelo is more important to me. These aren't a lot of my favorite fighters. That whole thing ended up being such a banger. The UFC 301 ended up being such a banger. So I was seeing the highlights as I'm watching Canelo. So I was trying to switch back and forth, and it was so fucking good. And I actually went to Dave and Buster's to watch.
You did not. That's so fun. We have to do that next time.
Please. I was by myself. People were laughing at me because I was watching UFC on my phone. So I asked someone to film me real quick. I'm like, oh wait, that would be good content actually. So someone filmed me just looking at my phone and the Canelo, and it went viral. I think it got 2 million views now on the Sports Bimbo. Yeah.
Yay, that's awesome. What were you doing, listening to the commentary on your phone?
No, I'm just literally looking at a highlight clip. I think Sean Strickland had posted it of Michel Pereira doing a backflip, and I was watching that, and Canelo was on the screen, and that was it. But the funny thing is, a lot of people that saw the video, they assumed that it was a man, a man's content filming that he was with a girl. So I was getting comments like, where did you find a girl like that, bro? Keep her, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bro, who's the bro? It's just me. Like, you know, well, how did you get this girl to watch a fight with you? Whatever. I'm like, what? This is me on my own page.
You should have been DMing all of them, said, hey, I'm actually single. This is me if you're interested.
It was just so funny in the assumption, like, yeah, bro, that's me, bro. Like, okay. But yeah, so that happened. That was a little win for Sports Bimbo. I was like, that was cool. Our first like real viral original content.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is me usually at UFC, just looking at memes in real time while watching.
So Derek Lewis fight night happened, which we had a very vapid episode about. That's mostly about memes, like nothing about fights, but the fight that we mentioned did happen. Derek Lewis won again in round 3 against Rodrigo Nascimento.
Did he knock him out?
TKO, yes. And then his balls was hot again.
What do you mean?
He took off his entire underwear and bent over and showed his bare ass to the camera.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
He did. Let me see if I can show my ass on this podcast. He was like,
Said it, Derek Lewis.
He pulled the whole thing off, and you could see it through the octagon, the full cheeks, bare ass. I don't know if anyone could see the balls. Maybe if you were there in the apex, you could see the balls. I don't know. But
I do not want to be within 5 feet of that man because you would have been able to smell the balls. I'll tell you that.
I mean, but that was iconic. He stepped it up a notch with the hot balls. He stayed true to brand.
He's so freaking funny. Of course, he would do a callback to his most famous meme. Love you, Derek Lewis. I've decided I don't hate you anymore. You're fucking hilarious.
How can you? See, like, I love everybody. It's like, I love everyone. I really do. It's hard for me to not like someone.
And his record's so good, and he's such a good fighter. I'll watch the last one. Was it a good fight leading up into the TKO?
Yes, it was a good fight, and it extends his lead of the most knockouts in the division. So that's fucking sick. I was really excited about that. Dillon Danis posted us.
Oh, I remember seeing a small snippet of that, but I was waiting to hear about it. That's awesome. So we had Tito Ortiz, Dillon Danis, also Sean Strickland. Woo!
Yeah, I posted a video of Paige Van Zant saying that Dillon Danis asked her to peg him. That's a whole drama that was happening. I don't know if you heard about that while you were down.
No, I did not.
Yeah, she made a video. I guess he was trying to say that he like fucked her and spreading that around. And she made a video. She was like, hold up, I never fucked you. You asked me to peg you. His response to that in a tweet was not, I did not ask you to peg me. He said, yeah, I didn't want to be in your pussy because you fucked everyone. So he basically admitted that he wanted to be pegged.
So he agreed and said, yeah, I did ask you to peg me. Oh, gotcha.
Everybody was like, hello? Are you guys missing this? He admitted to the pegging, but then he didn't say anything else. And then you were dead, and I had a meeting. I had a few meetings without you because you were dead, but I had a meeting with our like merch team because we're launching merch on May 31st. And I was like in, my businesswoman mode where I wake up at 3 p.m. and drink 3 Monster energy drinks and then get to work. And I came in there and I'm like, okay, guys, can we make an I pegged Dillon Danis shirt?
Wait, I would buy that. I would buy that. Did they say yes? Please tell me they said yes.
Well, they were like, first of all, you can't say the full name for legal reasons, but you could do like I pegged Dillon.
Okay, fine. I will take it.
That's I pegged Dillon. I thought that was sick, but then they were like, I don't think you should do that.
Oh, I will make my own then, and I'm doing it right now.
Make stickers of it.
Okay, that's all I need. Sure.
Yeah, we can make like bumper stickers for the party that say I pegged Dillon. I think that's sick. I think that's hilarious.
That's hilarious.
The first drop that we're doing is we're going to do some just basic like logo stuff, hoodies, with the Sports Bimbo logo, but we're also going to do a baby tee that says I Heart Heavyweights. I'm really excited about that. That's going to be sick.
I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
Great.
I mean, if this podcast comes out before this podcast comes out before the launch, if we get a big response to I Pegged Dillon, maybe we can make it we can show them, make it happen. Maybe not by the party, but for the next drop or something. But I think it'll be old news by then, but maybe it'll just be a sticker. I Pegged Dillon.
He should be bullied about that for a long time, so it will not be.
I slid into his DMs since he had posted us because I'm like, hey, do you want to do this as a collab? That'd be funny.
That'd be freaking hilarious, actually.
Yeah, then you get a piece of the pie and it'll probably go viral and it's funny. Like, and then you're taking ownership of the joke about you.
He can own it. Exactly. He can own his own joke. I mean, you did say it publicly.
Yeah. And then we can make it cute and, get the girlies in it. But he didn't respond, so fuck his ass.
Quite literally fuck his ass, yes.
I'm still running with it though. I picked Dillon. That's sick. I'm over the heavyweight.
You are. What happened? It just fizzled out.
He's not paying enough attention to me. And he has a really valid reason for not paying attention to me that I can't say right here because if I say it, everybody will know who he is. But he does have a valid reason, but it's just like hard for me to like, it's not keeping my attention. I'm not going to sit around waiting. I'm moving on. If you start paying attention to me in a few months and I don't got anything else going on, fine. But for now, I'm like, I'm bored. We, Sports Bimbo, but it was just me, had a meeting with Ian Garry's manager and Peyton Talbot's manager about doing stuff in the future. So that's TBD, some ideas floating around in there. But something I did find, and I don't know if this is Ariel Helwani of me, but I feel that even if it is Ariel Helwani of me, I would think Ian Garry would want people to know this. So I'm just going to take my risk and say it. Colby Covington has been all over the internet because they were supposed to have a fight. And the story or the rumor was that Colby wouldn't sign the contract to have the fight, that he was like, I don't know if he was ducking Ian or he just didn't want to, but he wasn't signing the contract and Ian wanted him to sign the contract. And then I think like a day before the meeting, Colby was all over social media saying, actually, there was never a fight offer from the UFC for me to even fight this guy. So I asked his agent in the meeting, I was like, okay, I just want to know, like, is that true? Is he lying? He says no, that Colby's lying. So it's a real he said, she said.
Well, if even Ian Garry's manager said, no, there is an offer on the table and he's just ducking it for whatever reason, little scaredy cat, that's awesome.
That's not a secret Ian would want to keep. So what do I care? Like, you know?
Yeah.
I asked.
That is good tea. That is really, really good tea. That makes it. Colby Covington is one of the fighters that I just can never like and never respect just because of the comments that he made about fathers who have passed away. So I could not be a fan of him anymore, especially after last time. Do you remember that? So it was 296 and it was in Vegas when he fought Leon Edwards, and he made a couple different comments about Leon Edwards' dad and said that his dad was his dead dad. His father who's passed away is in hell.
No, I'm bringing you to 7th layer hell. We'll say what's up to your dad while we're there.
And that was tasteless, and that was maybe one of the only things I think could cross the line a little bit too much. Make as many jokes as you want. I mean, jokes are jokes, but that was just nasty. So after that, I was like, don't respect you anymore. I think you just peacock and you try to look big, and I'm not interested in watching you fight ever again.
I do remember that. I actually would like to see him and Ian Garry fight, but it doesn't look like it's happening.
He's scared.
May 31st, we are having our first ever in real life event here at the Bespoke Network Studios, where we host our podcasts generally. Really excited about that. It's to celebrate just the launch in general and to build community, and also launch some of our limited edition merch that's going to be also physically sold in this store on Fairfax. So people who are, just walking in off the streets, or people can come like boutique style and shop our collection. So that's really cool. There's going to be an open bar.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah. Neft Vodka, one of our sponsors. We're going to have a photo booth, a DJ, hot girls dressed as boxers for photo ops. My best friend, Jack, that I've mentioned before on the podcast, Jack Perry, he's treating it like it's like a wedding. Like, should we have a cake tasting? Like,
should we go and test the cake flavors together? That's awesome.
Yeah, he has some friend who started like a cake business, and he's like really excited about it. So they've been working on this big cake for us. I'm curious to see what it's going to be. So that is May 31st in West Hollywood from 7 to 10 p.m. It will be open to the public through an Eventbrite link, so they'll just have to RSVP in advance. So I'm excited to put that out there and see who wants to meet us, and then hopefully we'll have a little like step and repeat or some cute little photo moments. Conor McGregor bought BKFC supposedly or apparently, at least half of it. He's like an owner now, so it works. It works for me. I'm more interested to see what's going to be going on in BKFC, and I don't generally pay a lot of attention to BKFC outside of like Mike Perry. So I think he will bring some interesting new things. I wonder if we'll see more like crossover with MMA guys coming to BKFC, hopefully better fighters, because sometimes it seems like a place where people go when they're on the decline. I would like to see what he does with it, with his part ownership. Something else that I learned about one of our podcasts, we went on for like 30 minutes in our last podcast about Sean Strickland's toes.
Yeah, okay, Sean Strickland's toes, and I guess we got a response on why he had trench foot toes.
Yeah, so apparently when he was younger, his foot was stepped on by a horse and it like killed one of his toes. He has a dead toe that is just like for looks. So I'm sorry, Sean.
Sorry, Sean. My bad.
This is why you should never make fun of people. I don't think we're going to stop because it's good content. I'm sorry. I do feel bad about the toe, but I also...
No, don't feel bad.
I feel bad, but I also don't care.
No, as an apology, you will suck Sean Strickland's toes and you will make...
No! I'll never do that.
Oh, it's a good apology. He'll appreciate it.
Sean Strickland also reposted us, which that was very kind of him last night.
Thanks for the support, Sean, and from your toes. I mean, I'm not as excited about your toes supporting.
I don't think he listened to the episode. I hope that he never does, but he did repost a clip from it. It was of you doing the imitation of him not knowing who Bo Nickel was.
Who is Bo Nickel?
Also, his fight with Paulo Costa seems to be up in the air. He's saying that Paulo didn't sign the contract for that. I don't know if it's off. So that's what his response when he reposted it was about, like, maybe they'll get another can to fight in the co-main, whatever. I don't know what's going on with that. I think that's still TBD. That kind of bums me out because I really did want to see that fight. So I hope that it still goes on. And I've decided, you know what I've decided? I've decided they can never make me hate Sean Strickland.
Did you decide that after all the things he's been tweeting?
I go back and forth all the time. I think he has such like harmful ideas that he spews and spouts. And it's just, I do know him. And, you know, I'm going to claim it that he's my friend.
Finally. Thank you. Stella did not want to have to say this, but they have been friends.
He's my friend, and I don't like a lot of this stuff. Just because he's my friend does not mean that I support or co-sign his beliefs or the things that he says. But I do believe that in his heart, he is a good person. I know him on a personal level, and it's been for quite a while now. And you know what? I have some traumatic backstory like Sean Strickland. I don't have like a lot of, I don't have any traditional family. And you know what? In my life, it's kind of a sad thing where like when something big or exciting happens for me, I don't generally have people to tell. And one person that I can always count on, that I can tell any news, whether we like took a photo shoot, our podcast came out, I did red carpet. I'm going to cry, but I tell Sean.
Oh my God, that's the sweetest thing ever. Well, he's a real one.
He always cares.
Oh my God, Stella.
And he's always happy for me, and he's just a really good person.
Yeah, he seems like a good friend. You guys have a really great friendship.
But I hate the stuff he says online. I don't even know if it's real. I can't, like, I think it, and I've told him before, like, even if you do believe some of those things that I don't agree with, like he made a rant, like, don't go to therapy's stupid. And I have said to him to his face, like, I think this is harmful because just because you don't want to do your therapy, that's fine. But you might have a fan who actually really needs it and they're going to become like a school shooter or something. Like, I think it's harmful for you to say these things when people look up to you. He ignores me, that's fine, but...
Yeah, you guys have different worldviews. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, though. You can still be friends with somebody who looks differently at the world than you do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very empathetic, and I humanize him, and I know him in a little bit of a different way than the internet, and I believe that he's a good person. He's my friend. I'm not going to hate him. I might disapprove of shit that he does, but he's been a very supportive person to me, so I'm just, they can't make me hate him. Sorry, guys. I like him.
I've never hated you, Sean.
Paulo Costa told me at one point he would come on this podcast. He was set to be our first guest, and I was so excited. I was ready to move mountains for him, and then, like the Sean Strickland fight, he stood us up. So I don't know what's going on with that. I hope that it will still happen at some point. I'm wearing his shirt. I was co-signing for him to actually win over Sean Strickland because Sean had pissed me off talking about Mexicans. But, you know, now I'm manifesting for Sean to win.
This is why you need 2 different shirts to take one off depending on the day.
I think that's my vibe for every fight.
Whoever's being nicer to me is who I want to win.
I cannot believe I just cried on the podcast about fucking Sean Strickland.
Oh, that's pretty iconic.
To anyone who like doubts me, watch his interviews, watch his sparring videos where you see the behind the scenes of him at his gym, XCMMA, how he will stop for every person afterwards and talk to them. He gives motivational speeches to everyone. You know, he might be off track in some things. He might need help in some things, but I think there's a pure energy there.
Mm-hmm.
Nate Diaz and Masvidal, they must have heard us because they changed the date. So now we don't have to choose between UFC 302 and their fight. They changed it to like August or something. So now we could go and do both.
Perfect. Now we can do both.
I like to think it's because of us.
No, they did it because of us. They told me myself, just don't check. Just don't look.
I'm sure they listen to the podcast with all the other tens of millions of people who do.
They have post notifications on as well.
Although one of our investors I hung out with at a wrestling show while you were dead, and he said that we are one of the fastest growing combat podcast. So that's good to know. It's a pretty low bar.
I was going to say the bar is set pretty low. That is cool to know still. Better than if he said, well, the bar is set pretty low and you're still not reaching it.
Khabib is in trouble. I guess he's been evading taxes. I don't know if you heard that, but he's like...
Nice.
Yeah, that's popped in.
Evade taxes. Woo!
I saw that and I was like, my first thought was, I was like, he's just like me for real.
He's just like me for real. For legal reasons. This is a joke. But...
I don't like to pay my taxes either, Khabib. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
I can't wait till you were back in the studio with me. But I feel like those were kind of the big things that I was like dying to tell you. In terms of my personal life while you were dead, I was nominated for an Internet Baddie Award, Rising Social Media Star, the XBiz Awards. So I went to that and did that red carpet, and that was really fun.
That's super cool. Yeah. So it was was it a one-night event?
Yeah. It's a new category. Generally, it's like an adult industry awards, but they created a new category for content creators, which, as everybody should know, I do Playboy. So yeah, I was the only Playboy girl nominated for Rising Social Media Star of the Year. And they played, on the big Jumbotron or whatever, like videos of all the nominees. Mm-hmm. So it felt very like MTV Movie Awards, like, and the nominees are, and then they play a video of each person, and they're playing like these sexy thirst trap videos. And I was so excited to see what mine was going to be. I thought it was going to be maybe there's just one on my Instagram with me and like Honey Burdette, like in the bed at a nice hotel. Tell me why they put the video of me with my squirrel.
Why did they do that?
I'm in a John Cena t-shirt, no makeup on.
Oh, that's sexy, all right. Yeah.
Holding a squirrel. Everybody else is like lingerie. Some girl was like twerking, grabbing her ass, and then here's me and a squirrel.
I would have voted for you. You would have been my vote.
Me and all my friends that were there, well, there's 2 friends only. We were screaming. We were like, not the squirrel.
Why did they do that? Why would they do a squirrel? You do Playboy. You have a lot of content. You have a lot of reels that are like sexy content.
They went to my page and said, you know what? It's the squirrel for me.
Yeah, no, that would have made me vote for you. You should have won just based off of that. Just off of that one video.
I didn't win. That's fine. I think I didn't win because mine was a squirrel, but I honestly don't care. I was just happy to be there. I had fun dressing up and walking the red carpet and all that. I really mostly care about sports bimbo these days. So I'm like, that's fine.
Okay, Miss Celebrity. That's awesome.
I was grateful. And that's pretty much everything you've missed, I think. Well, I did meet a new boy prospect at a wrestling show. I did. It's super early days.
Is this a new person or it's the person that I already know about?
No, you don't know anything of this.
Oh, okay. All right. This is
my bestie, my boy bestie, who keeps getting frequently mentioned for some reason. He had wrestling shows this past weekend at New Japan, which is like a Japanese wrestling company. So I went just to support him. And, there's a wrestler from that company that I met that knows all my friends. And I don't know, it's really nothing right now, but it's just like, I think he's cute and we texted each other. That's it. Like that's all that's going on. But I did post a little text from him on Sports Bimbo last night just because it was so on brand. It means nothing to anyone else, but to me, this is so huge to me. He texted me and said, I will watch any fight with you.
Oh, wait. Okay, get married. That's all I needed to hear.
So that's all I needed.
Oh,
so now I'm excited. So it's a prospect. He's just a prospect. I don't know what's going on, but I think he's cute and he's down to watch fights with me. So that's like a win for me. That's exciting. Me understanding one. And he said he listened to all our podcasts. So he's probably gonna hear me say this. So that's scary and terrible.
No way. Really? Wait. I have so much respect for him.
He flew. He had to fly to another wrestling show between me meeting him and now. And he said he listened to them all on the plane.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
Stop it. I want to give him a big hug. That's so sweet. Okay, well,
I don't know what it is. I'll just say I have a crush for now, but that's what you missed. And now the whole world knows I'm using him as content. Enjoy this story. Enjoy being part of this storyline now.
He better be giggling and kicking his feet listening to this right now. She mentioned me, and then you
be scared and be like, this bitch is crazy.
No, you could play this at your wedding. No, maybe I shouldn't make him sound crazy. Stella's not crazy. I'm just crazy. So speaking of crazy and how I love to think, I hard launched my relationship as well that I'd been hiding for a few months at this point. which is scary and exciting. But I said in a podcast episode before that I was in love with a heavyweight, and I am. He's a boxer. He's not like a professional one, but I am obsessed with him. He's the best.
That is big. That's really big news for you. I have never known you to publicly post a man. So
I have never publicly posted a man. Actually, in my entire life, I've never posted a man's face. And I've also never been the kind of girl, despite what my social media might look like, I've never been the kind of girl who's like, my man, my man, my man. Because I truly believe I've never been in love before until right now. I absolutely believe that. He says the same exact thing. Where we're both like, we've never been in love before, because if this is what love is, I've never felt it at all. And it's just 100%, nothing has made more sense to me in my entire life. So I'm as happy as can be.
oh, I'm excited for you. I'm so happy for you. And I'm so excited that you're alive and to see you again. I missed you so much. I'm glad that you know a little bit what's going on in Fight World. And I can't wait to continue on this journey with you now that I know that you didn't ghost me and hate me.
I would never. I love you to death. Yeah, I'm excited too. Let's get these new episodes going. Whoop, 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 whoop. That's it for today. Thank you to everyone for listening to the Sports Bimbo podcast, brought to you by the Bespoke Network.
You can find us on all socials, Instagram, Twitter, etc., YouTube at Sports Bimbo. And remember to leave us a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. It's really important. Please, 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 please. Bye. We love you.
Bye.